Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Yes, today's video is going to be different from the natural hair I'm going to be showing you guys how I install my frontal. So if this is a video you might be interested in, then keep watching. So I'm going to be starting off by cleaning my forehead with this deep cleanser. Why I got this one is because they wrote remove dirt, excess oil, and so on. So normally I should use a rubbing alcohol for this, but I can't find it, so I had to get a face cleaner that can clean oil. So it's better than just using spirit on my head. I don't want anything my face or my edges will react to. So I'm just going to clean that properly. The reason for this is to make sure you don't have any form of oil on your hair, and that is one thing that will help your frontal to stay for longer time. Then I'm going to be using the Ghostbond gel to slick down my edges. So this is a protective style. Even though I want to use glue on my head, I want my edges to be well protected. So that's why I'm making sure I'm getting all my edges out of the way. Then we're going ahead with the bad cap method. This is a wig cap. It comes 2 in 1, so I'm going to be using one and the Ghostbond glue. First of all, you want to dot little piece of the glue around your perimeters. Make sure you're not getting your edges. You're putting this just after your edges. Then when you're wearing the cap, you want to make sure you wear it once. Don't wear it and then start dragging it. Don't be like me. I extended the cap too much to my front, to my face, that I could barely see. But I could not drag it back. I just have to manage. And then I'll go ahead to cut around my ears, just so the ear tabs stays very, very sleek and down by the time I'm applying the glue. Next, I'm going to be using the same glue, and you trace that first glue you did under, trace it with this, but on top of the cap. Make sure you're tracing it exactly where you dotted the one before you wore the cap, so that you don't get glue to your edges. Then after that, I'm just going to spread it out and allow it to dry properly before we cut this cap. The reason for this is that most times you can use only what's it called, got to be spray for this, but at times it's just so difficult for me to cut it out. So then I will still use the got to be spray, but behind the glue, just so I get other parts of the cap to stay down, because I'm not going to be sewing this cap on my head, so I don't want it to pull off. And this particular cap I'm using is too light. As you can see, it's already tearing off. It's too light. So if you can get the main one, the original wig cap, the one that we are all used to, that would be better, but it's just this one that I have with me. So I'm just going to blow dry that till it's very, very dry. The way you know the glue is dry is when it dries clear. You won't see the white again. It's properly dry. Then you go ahead and cut your your cap. So when cutting this cap, the reason why I like this glue method for this bad cap is because by the time I'm cutting it, I don't have too much roll-ups. There's a way when you're using Ghostbond, when you start cutting your frontal, it just starts rolling up, and that thing can be really annoying and so hard to fix. So I just prefer the glue method. So you just need you just want to take your time to make sure you cut it properly. Next, I'm going to take my face powder and then I rub it on the cap. Now, another thing is, if you want to use the cap, make sure you get a cap that is closer to your skin color. That would be better. This was too light for me, so I had to make it a bit darker. Now we'll go ahead and apply the glue. This is not the first layer. This is just a tiny bit to lay down the edges of the cap. You want it to be flat as possible so that you don't see it behind your frontal when you finally install it. So you just want to put a tiny little bit first on the edges of your cap to make them lay very, very flat. Once that is dry, we'll proceed to apply the first layer. Now you want to make sure you apply this on top, directly on top of the cap. Then a little bit will come when you're spreading it. You make sure a little bit comes out from the cap, and then you spread the remaining one towards the back. So you want to make sure your frontal application is as wide as possible. You can see where I showed my hand. You want to make sure it's wide, as not very, very tiny that it will just glue only the front of the hair. You want some part of your frontal to also glue down. That is the way that your frontal will stay longer. Now the first layer has dried, and now I'm applying the second layer. Now normally you should do this for you should do 3 to 4 layer, but I'm just going to wear this hair for just a week, so I just did 2 layer because I'm not wearing it for too long. But if you intend to wear your frontal for a longer period, you want to do 3 to 4 layer of this glue. So once I'm done applying the second layer, I allow it to dry clear. It has to dry clear before you go to the next process. So while we wait for the second layer of my glue to dry, I'm just going to show you the hair I will be installing. So this was the hair. I went ahead and coiled it, leave it overnight to set, and this is the final look. If you like to see a video of how I coil and style my hair, then please leave it in the comment section and I will make a detailed video on that. So next, I'm just going to carry my face powder and rub inside the closure, and rub on the lace of the frontal, rather, and rub on the lace on the frontal. This is just to make it match better with my skin. So now that my wig, my glue is properly dried, I'm just going to go ahead to apply it. So this application process, you need to be very, very careful when applying it. I like to start with the front, with the very front of my head, and then we'll go to the sides. So when you're placing it, you want to place it a little bit above the glue, where the glue stops. You want to go a little bit further from where the glue stops. Once you do that, you make sure you comb it and let it sit in very well. Then you go ahead to apply the sides. This process is a very, very important process you need to do carefully, because once your glue is stuck to the frontal, removing it is hard, and if you try to remove it, you might just spoil your cap underneath. Then I went ahead to cut the side, the excess lace by the side, just to make the hair sit properly. So when doing this, you want to make sure you avoid your ear side so you don't cut your ear. After that, you want to use an elastic band to tie the front down so that it will set. This just allows it to set very well for the frontal and the glue to marry themselves properly. After that, I remove the band and then proceed to cutting the excess lace. I had that on about 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes just for it to set, and then I went ahead to cut the frontal. Now I always like to use what's it called again, eyebrow razor to cut my frontal, because it just gives me this zigzag motion and it makes it look more natural and not too wiggy. But my eyebrow razor was giving me a headache. Like, it was not sharp again. I needed a new one, so I just had to go ahead and use a scissors to cut it. But when you're using a scissors to cut it, you want to make sure you cut in zigzag motion and not straight across. If you cut it straight across, it will just look very, very wiggy, if you know what I mean. So is either you use an eyebrow razor or you use a scissors but cut in a zigzag motion. So as you're cutting it, you want to make sure you're using the tail of your comb to lay the frontal down, because once you're cutting, little parts of the front that didn't really get the glue will lift up a little. So you just have to use the edge of your comb to just lay them back. After that, we'll proceed to styling. I like to style my hair side parts, like a very, very low side part and a C cut. It just gives me this bang, side bang at the front that I really, really like. So this is like my go-to style anytime. So I'm going to use my wax stick and then my hot comb to slay this hair to stupor. Like, wax stick and hot comb, this combination is just heaven sent. Like, it just has a way of making your hair look so sleek and beautiful and organized. Seriously, I don't know the word to use again, but I love using these two things together. Like, they just help your hair look very, very sleek and nice. So you want to make sure you get the parts very, very well, very clean and nice. So these are the things that will give you a clean finishing. Then next, I'm going to be bringing out the hair I will be using for the baby hair. So for this particular hair, I don't want too much baby hair. I just want very, very little. Then once you bring out the hair, you want to hot comb it to the front. So that way, the essence of using this hot comb is to help it slip to the side you want it to lay. I don't know if that makes sense, but you get it. Then next, I'm going to use the got to be spray and just apply little to the front, and then I'm going to use the same headband and tie it down for it to set. While that is setting, I'll go ahead and do my makeup and I'll be right back. If you have watched to this point, then this means you're really enjoying this video. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share with a friend that might just learn from this, okay? Now that I'm done, the frontal is already set, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Now for the baby hair, the shorter you cut the hair, the finer it will lay, the finer the baby hair will come out. That's just my own preference. I like when my baby hair, I cut it really short, then by the time I lay it down, it doesn't look too fake like that. So then I'm going to use the same got to be gel and then mold down the baby hair. Now baby hairs are kind of hard to mold down, but it's just with practice you will get the hang of it. Okay, so it took me some time to get to know how to lay baby well, very well. I'm not even perfect yet, so you just have to keep doing it. Just be a little bit light-handed. You don't want to go too heavy on the baby hair when you're laying it. If not, it might lift your frontal. So then for this part, why I'm sweeping it to the opposite side is because I just like the way it gives that place a bang. I don't know if this makes sense, but this is just how I like to sweep the front of my baby hair whenever I'm doing a side part. Then once that is done, I went ahead and style with the hot comb. Make sure everything is looking all nice and juicy. I used my face concealer to just with the angle brush to make sure I define the part more. So once you do this is one process I don't fail to do. It just makes the parts really look clean and nice. And then I go ahead to comb my hair, style it, all looking juicy and nice and cute. I was feeling myself all through the day, man. I went ahead to do some TikTok videos, Snapchat video, posted on my Instagram. If you're following me on Instagram, you should have seen the video by now. And if you're not following me, why not? What is stopping you? Please follow me on Instagram, okay? And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe, okay? Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe. What are you waiting for? Bye-bye, guys.